Hi people, Max RC here. Today I want to please you with my big video about cars. And I'm not going to talk about some ordinary models, we're going to watch the coolest drift ones. All of them are unique and their creation took a lot more than 1 month. They all have a stunning look and cool features that allow these cars to perform incredible twists on the track. I will not tell more and just start the video. Let's go! Oh yes, I also need to mention about the like, subscription, the bell, all these things. I think you remember. Now let's go! The next car will be again from Lexus. We have already talked about one of them today. This one looks almost same, but I liked it for something different. Of course, it can drift, everything is cool in it, but guys, isn't this golden rockstar coloring amazing? Don't you want to put such a car on your shelf and just enjoy it every day, I don't know about you, but when they were shooting this car up close, I even thought that they were showing me a real Lexus in the garage. I'm serious. We have just had a bus, which means it's time to show you something even more cool. Something that I personally associate with my childhood because it was at the time that I played games on PSP and drove such a pickup truck there. I think you have already understood what dreamboat we're talking about now. And this is a real dreamboat, since the first thing that catches your eye when you see it is, it's not so easy to single out one exact thing. The fact is that the pickup has a very cool neon backlight and an unusual pattern on the back, and in general the color is very pleasant and stylish. This rare spare tire is not only practical but also looks modern. In general, this is the same pickup truck, which no one would refuse to have. Rare cars are the ones which each of us can see in some museum or gallery. However, they are not at all associated with something fast, agile and cool. They are some kind of an old-fashioned option for connoisseurs of collections, as well as for those who want to ride in an entourage atmosphere, and so on and so forth. However, this blue car is ready to prove the opposite. The authors of the project took the ancient hull as a basis, installed a lot of probules in it, and got such a maneuverable miracle which you really want to drive putting your foot down and showing who the drift daddy is. As they say, appearances are deceptive. I can describe this project using these 3 words. I think you have already understood why. Now we're going to talk about the legendary car, which success can be easily compared with the Toyota Mark II. Yes, as you have already understood, this is also a Toyota, though this time it is the Chaser. This car has a great cult for tuning lovers. This was achieved due to the aggressive exterior and good adaptation of engines to improvement. The engines were legendary. The situation here is almost the same as with its blood brother, the Toyota Mark II, which I have already mentioned today. Despite all the nonsense, the passenger compartment is still comfortable and made from the materials of good quality. There are also all the amenities such as electric seat adjustments, climate control and an audio system. You may now think that this is all nonsense, but you should also take into account the time when this car was produced. In my opinion, this mini version of Chaser perfectly conveys that old vibe. Do you agree with me? I was just thinking about the fact that there were no Lexuses at all in my today's video. These cars are very desirable among a number of motorists. Although we're talking about toy cars, it would still be wrong to bypass the Lexus. Whatever one may say, the car, which was designed primarily for convenience, has managed to become a similar sports option, which outwardly cannot be distinguished from the top racing car. The white radio-controlled car has retained all its main characteristics and is now perfectly controlled. Other than that, it looks great, and thanks to its white color, it's super easy to spot it in the traffic or even when playing under the sun. Wow, this is an old by Dacia Mazda. The car perfectly enters a turn and that says it all. You just check this angle out. The way this Mazda holds a turn and how easily it is controlled is just awesome. I wonder how much time these guys have spent on creating such a cool car, and how much it looks like the original one is just amazing. When shooting this car close up, one thought crept into my head. Were they showing us a real Mazda entering a turn? Write in the comments if you were thinking about the same thing. It will be interesting to read. However, it's not just about driving drift cars and making an amazing show, right? There are also adventurers who are able to turn the most ordinary Jeep into an amazing racing car that can give the hit. This car has a rather bright color, a cool addition represented by the driver's girlfriend looking out of the window, as well as some kind of super strange but apparently effective system in the front. By the way, are there those among the audience who know what this system is for? What is the point of such high front wheels? Does it really make any sense, or is it just for fun? Write what you think in the comments. As the author of the video says, now we can see the Toyota Corolla, but actually I don't remember such body for this series of cars. When I look at its headlights, this car reminds me of a second generation of the Corolla, the one that was produced from 1971 to 1974. But it's definitely not this model. In any case, according to the tradition, I'm leaving a riddle to you, my dear subscribers and viewers. And while you're writing your comments, we're going to continue looking at the car, or rather, how cool and easy it is drifting on a flat surface. And even though the car is made in an extremely primitive, non-provocative and boring color, I really like it. Anyway, there is a zest in it. While some people love to renovate old cars, others deliberately create rare models, the very ones that have the most modern stuffing inside, but from the outside they are exact copies of something from the 80s. I don't know about you, but I like this idea. Just imagine the face of the driver of a modern Mercedes, which is overtaken by some old car. This car has beautiful scuffs, no matter how strange it sounds. It also has different cool, bright elements and the ability to drift. It can drift the way the other cars from the store are not able to repeat. Now, this is what I call the three guys did their best. A huge like and respect from me personally. And this is some old by Dacia Mazda, which is painted in blue and violet color. You know, this is the case when the top-end exterior of the car was obtained solely due to extraordinary painting. People get the right new look and seem to revive it, or rather, rejuvenated it by 10-20 years in the production of cars. Nevertheless, even though the authors of the project did not touch the inside, this car could still dish it out to any modern racing cars today, that's for sure. The third series BMW in the E30 body is a true legend. It is the legend of street racing and drifting. Although the car was produced in the 90s, it is still in great demand among connoisseurs of rare cars and also among the fans of toy drift racing. It is quite understandable because the entire series of these cars was once equipped with an unprecedented set of bodies and engines. One of them, by the way, is in front of you. I don't know about you, but I really like this car by the sound of its ride, by its exterior, and of course, by the cool and unique way it drifts. It's just awesome. Today we have already talked about Mark II, or rather mentioned this iconic car. Now it's time to show it to you in all its glory. Honestly, I don't think that the story of Mark II will somehow surprise you much, but this car will definitely do it, as it is completely different matter. Especially its bright wheels, as well as these toxic and at the same time insanely pleasant and unusually colored discs. Just look how cool the coloring along with the inscriptions are. Everything matches just fine. I can give the project A+ and a huge like with respect to the authors for the work they have done. Those sleepless nights were definitely worth it, right? Some people are trying to get ahead of the rivals by making a more powerful engine for the toy, while the others prefer to lighten the body of the car to the maximum. While the third type of people chooses to add 2 extra wheels. But the thing is that they do not consider them to be extra. The wheels are required for extra stability, though we still don't know if it is cool or not in the case of drifting and racing. In my opinion, those 6 wheels is a cool idea if the car is made for a comfortable ride. No wonder the limousines are so long. However, for drifting, I would generally use 2 wheels if such a thing possible. This reduces weight and somehow makes the drift space smaller and therefore easier. What do you think? It seems like we now have the Ford Mustang GT in front of us, but at the same time, I don't remember this color. Or rather, not the color, but the style of the body as a whole. In any case, write in the comments what kind of car it is. In the meantime, while you are busy, I suggest checking it out from different angles. The Mustang has a red, rather classic color for this car, wide wheels that stick out from different sides, as well as many high-quality details. I'm talking about headlights, about all sorts of handles, doors and glass. Wherever you look, everything is done super cool, and you can't fault it. And this is another representative of the Toyota. That's how the brand has made such a big amount of different top cars for drifting. This time we're going to talk about the Chaser. A 100-body Chaser is another legend of the Japanese automotive industry. The legend of today's hero is so great that it is approximately on a par with the Toyota Mark II. But this is natural, since they both had similar parts and were produced at about the same time. This car is a great cult for tuning lovers. This was achieved due to the aggressive exterior and good adaptation of engines. Write in the comments if you like this ride, or would you like to buy something else for yourself? Both for use in real life and as a toy on the control panel. The presentation of the BMW F10 M5 Sports Sedan took place in early June 2011. It happened at the Auto Show in Frankfurt. Since then, people's excitement around this car has not faded for a single moment. Everyone is still doing everything in their power just to touch the legendary and significant car of the entire automotive industry. Even if we are talking about a toy M5, the exterior of this car is worth your attention. It seems to be simple, but at the same time not at all. There are gills in the front wings. Their purpose is to remove hot air from under the hood. The Germans gave the outer mirrors an aerodynamic shape. German engineers explained that if you drive hard for 20 hours, the mirrors simply break out of their mounts as at limiting speeds. The airflow going towards them exerts prohibitive pressure on them. This was taken into account in this car as well as many other shticks. In terms of sizes, the BMW is a mid-size car. This toy version is also no different from its counterparts, but still its lightness and preparedness in terms of road shticks put this model slightly above the rest. In general, the same happens with the BMW in real life. As for this drift car, I can say I have fallen in love with it just at first sight. I especially like the way its front wheels turn, despite the fact that the rest of them are in a static position. I still have no idea how the dudes managed to achieve such a result. And I don't really want to know it, because the main thing is not how it was done, but what has finally been created. We're not engineers, after all, but the ones who drive them well or admire. In general, the car has absorbed purely all the wishes of any drifter. It has lots of different stickers, nice discs and sporty look. In general, it's the classics. Among the fans of racing and drifting, there is such a car that still makes all the opponents on the track tremble. I'm talking about the Toyota Supra. I don't want to discuss its ancient equipment and the look. Therefore, I decided to surprise you with a modern modification of the legendary car. The Supra of the 5th generation, the A9091, that has been in production since 2019, bears little resemblance to the legendary Toyota Supra. It was built by the BMW, but tuned by the Toyota, namely by the company president Akio Toyoda, who personally participated in its development and wanted to restore the performance of the legendary A80 to this car. Did they succeed? Well, not really. The car is fast, of course, but not as fast as before. Besides, many people hate the car for its exterior, but I really like it. Anyway, the clock is ticking and it's time to change something despite the warm emotions and stories that bind you. I haven't got the hang of this purple car with the beautiful print of the Monster and other popular brands. I mean, I haven't fully understood what kind of model it is in front of us. I even tried to get the brand icon as close as I could, but it wasn't enough. However, I don't care much what kind of model it is. The main thing is how it looks and how it holds the road. And there can be no complaints about this toy. Everything is super cool, it's just an amazing work. But wait, apparently I have put my best foot forward when I said it had no equal. For example, this car, the Mazda RX-7, will never agree with this. Yes, it cannot turn at a strange angle, but you just check out its free and easy control, these beautiful lines of the body, the bright, juicy color of a ripe green apple, the elegant and useful spoiler, as well as many other top features. In general, this car definitely deserves attention. I can give it a huge like. And this is a very beautiful and interesting Toyota, although I didn't understand what kind of model it was. Still, the car looks great, it handles the turns well, and it also makes some nice sounds. Yes, I would like to see it on a much more serious track, but apparently this is not possible. The project is just being tested. However, I'm sure that if they add some speed and maneuverability to it, the Toyota will have no peers, especially among the cars with their relatively same sizes. Someone gets high and longs to have a modern, fast car in their collection, like some kind of sedan, cabriolet or something like that. But after all, people don't even think about the fact that the bus can be same cool in terms of drifting. You will get exactly the same top-end racing ride, only it will stand out against the general background and force rivals to be distracted by its awesome look. Especially if it has such a stunning purple color like the one in this video. How do you like this car, Would you like to have it not only as a toy but also as a real vehicle? Oh, I know this car immediately reminded me of those very cars from racing games, which you get at the first level. They perform very well on the track. Although the car is made in a black, nondescript shade, it drives really cool. It drifts and holds the road. In general, it's just a real dreamboat. Besides, it looks perfect. Those who think that cars in such a body are not capable of anything have never tried such races. Believe me, with proper driving skills and good engine tuning, they can overtake a real sports car. And this is a very cool Lexus, a car that seems to be used mostly for increased comfort, but these guys prefer to drive it around the track same as real drift cars do, and they also veer at high speeds. Outwardly, the Lexus is not particularly remarkable, it looks like a regular car, but apparently the authors of the project decided to make it just that. They wanted it to be unremarkable, but with an amazing feeling, which allows it to move nicely both on smooth roads and on slightly winding ones. Write in the comments if you like this idea, whether you like this car and whether it's worth several months of work spent on the project. It will be interesting to read what you think. Wow, this is the same Nissan that lovers of speed and drift are dreaming of. In fact, some time back I showed you one Nissan GT-R and deliberately pretended not to recognize this car. I pretended that it was some other GT-R. Like if you have called me out on it and have already written something in the comments. Of course, I know that it was the first GT-R in history, Hakkisuga as the Japanese call it. And this is one of the modern models. I won't tell you its name, but I don't think you really need it. In my opinion, their work is just perfect, 10 points out of 10, nothing else. And this is a car with a very cool chassis, which allows it to make such turns in different directions and inexplicable angles. I'm talking about the Tamiya TA05 chassis, an all-wheel drive chassis with belt drive and ball differentials designed exclusively for RC racing cars. This car model can be tuned by replacing its standard parts. The authors of the project took advantage of it and got such a unique ride. Imagine having such a car in real life. Leave a like if you would like to ride it too. I think the control would be unusual. At least the driver of the third part of the Fast and the Furious would definitely use this car in an impressive way. Next in line is the Toyota. Well, where would we be without another no less cool car? By the way, write in the comments what kind of model it is. Let's check out how many car experts are among us. I don't really know what to say about it. This is a regular car that was made in a good and quality way. There is a cool guy inside that can turn his head. This makes the toy more alive or something. The details are also perfect. It seems that the car is made in 4K quality. Even the paint is special, or I just think it is. I could be wrong, but I think this is one of the relatively new Toyota Supra. In any case, judging by the nameplate on the front, this is definitely some Toyota and it looks very stylish. Although I am by no means an avid fan of such garish colors, I like this composition, especially the bright green wheels and the edging around the perimeter. With these elements, the car has begun to play with new colors and literally says to its owner, "Well, bring me into the light, well please, I want to surprise all passers-by not only with my top characteristics, but also with a unique, delightful and beautiful color." Next in line is the most legendary car from the Back to the Future. I'm already tired of talking about it. Everyone knows what kind of car it is and how cool and rare it is. Therefore, I suggest to enjoy this beauty for some time and just move on. And this is the Toyota GT86, and don't confuse this car with the Subaru BRZ. Those who are au fait with the auto industry can understand my reference. What can I say about this toy? Well, it was done amazingly. Every element, wherever you look and whatever you touch, is just done for 10 points out of 10. That's why I give it a huge like. Externally, the car is also cool. According to the technical data, there are also no complaints about it. Basically, if you like this look, I would call this model perfect. Well, will you argue with that? Is anything wrong with it? Please write in the comments. Well, that's all, friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and goodbye for now.